So I need to make my tripod bigger. So what would you say? You would say, doing the math, because you know this is going to be the same, the elevation of the benchmark plus VBM is equal to the elevation of 1 plus V1. Does everybody agree with that? The distance from the datum to the point, this level value. And I don't have to keep it level, because it doesn't matter how I change this on my total station. As long as I have this, it's giving me my vertical value.
So the vertical, the VBM is actually your height of rod, or height
It's
of
like your
prism.
rod reading. Yeah, it's like the rod reading. So this right here, I get, oh, good point. So this is VM. And this right here is V1. Thank you. Here's my prism and my prism. So isn't it true that the elevation of the benchmark plus VBM is equal to elevation of 1 plus V1? So the elevation which I'm trying to solve for, elevation of 1 is going to be equal to the elevation of the benchmark plus VMB minus V1. Right? Because I'm isolating this, I have to bring this to the other side of the equation. Everybody's okay?
So in this whole scenario, we don't need to pay attention to the rod height as long as the rod height stays the same all.
That's correct. The rod height, because that makes, it's not a rod either, right? It's a prism.
Prism, but it's on
Prism
a
has
rod.
to stay the same height. If you raise the prism from here to here, you are not accounting for that amount you raise, unless you add in that extra amount.
You mean raised in terms of extending the rod?
Right, extending the rod, right,
Yeah.
extend, and let's not call it rod, right, you know, it's not a rod. The rod is the
Extending that.
ruler thing, the prism. There's a prism pole with the prism on
Pole.
top, right? If I extend the prism pole from one point to another, I just changed all the math. I have to keep the prism pole, the prism at the same height the whole time.
You gotta be careful, it's really easy to change it.
No, you have to, loosen that grip around, I mean, you gotta know you're doing it. Right, because you have to, because they're locked. Right.
Seth, you're on my team, that comment worries me.
Well, the one that we used, you just
Wait,
squeezed,
did you say?
and it was very easy to change it by squeezing.
I heard you.
So if you do raise it, you have to account for it.
Normally.
Shouldn't raise it.
You just keep it all the way to the bottom, and yeah, no problem.
So that you have to,
Okay.
right, you're asking me.
Oh, why does it say on here V1 minus benchmark? V benchmark is that backwards?
That's the equation she's on board.
No, it's not, it's backwards. The end. But does that make sense? Is it?
Yeah, no, I see it up there. Hang on a second.
Oh, you said V1.
Yeah. I don't know which is right.
V1.
I don't think
Go
that
on,
V,
minus.
I don't think that V1 minus the other one makes sense, does it? Unless she did it backwards.
Yeah, this is-
Plus V1.
Same thing.
Why would
No,
you
it's
do the
not.
same thing?
Oh,
No,
no.
wouldn't.
I think it's right on the sheet.
It's right on the sheet.
I think it's right on the sheet.
What did I do wrong then
You
here?
would get a adding a negative.
The last two terms need to be reversed. It needs
Yeah,
to be
but she's
V1
thinking
minus
about her
VBN.
thinking,
You just
And that equation only works
Minus VB.
when 1 is higher than V1, VN. That's why you have the scenario.
The way it's written right there, when you have a negative number.
In other words, if the scenario
V1's
changes
higher.
and 1 is lower than VN, then that equation no longer holds true. If it's in the correct form, we don't leave it is.
That is correct, and I'm making a mistake here, but I don't see my mistake.
V1, it should be V1 minus VBM, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
To get the difference in the,
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay,
get
yeah.
VBM minus V1, you gotta switch it around. Otherwise you get a negative.
Yeah. So you need to take
Make the
higher
rod
side
higher on
minus
the right.
lower.
Yeah, it looks like you extended the length of the pole on the benchmark.
It's right up there, that's all that matters.
Okay, this is why, because if the pole is the same height,
Oh, because you're not minusing that, you're minusing below that, right? Kind of?
so this plus this is not equal to this plus this.
No. And we're taking the difference of that first whole one, right?
Yeah, you're trying to get
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Well, V1, the whole thing.
Okay, okay. Why
These are
am I
written
messing up?
more.
Okay, thanks. I was looking to catch it.
So, can I come?
Okay, wait, so what V is the vertical. Change in elevation, so if I'm measuring it from here to there.
So it's just that top part from the actual tripod up? Yeah.
So that should be,
That should be, yeah, that would make your V1 bigger. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. Then V1's bigger than.
okay, so this mathically will not change. So the value of V1 is gonna be greater than the value of the VBM. Does everybody agree with that now? Because this is a greater change in elevation from this point. So I'm sorry that I didn't write down what the correct V was. So the difference between these two right here is V1 minus VBM, and that's gonna be the difference in elevation between these 2 points.
And then, you know, what we need to add.
So the elevation of 1 is gonna be equal to the elevation of the benchmark plus V1 minus V benchmark. Sorry.
That makes
So the important thing is to know what you're actually reading off the total station. Sorry about that. So the V that you're reading is the change in vertical distance between where the telescope is and the top of the prism pole. So let's do another one that's completely different. Let's do the scenario 4.
Yeah, I got it.